All right, we're going to talk about complex numbers. I talked a little bit about complex numbers in the past. So I wonder if I should set the background. No, white's the best. No, what bothers me is that I can't see the I could do this, but I don't think you guys will be able to see the thing. Anyways, let's just do some math. But I can't see I can't see the background. I may need to change the theme of my Chrome. So anyways, we're going to talk about complex numbers. So just to reiterate, we can't take the square root of -1 because there isn't a number that when I multiply it by itself that will equal -1. In other words, if I have a positive number, a positive times a positive will not equal -1. Whoops. Okay? It just won't happen. If I have a negative number and I multiply it by itself, it will not equal -1. So there isn't a real number that exists that equals -1. Therefore, or when I square it, it equals -1. So this doesn't exist. I can't take the square root of -1. So I create a number and I say it's an imaginary, right? It's an imaginary number. And so what we want to do is we're going to use this concept, but the imaginary number I represents this, the square root of 1, and also you got to treat this like a variable in a sense. Like you treat it like it's x or something when we do a bunch of algebra with it. You kind of treat it like it's x. So the other thing I want to point out is that I is equal to the square root of -1. If I square both sides, I squared is actually equal to -1. And then, the pattern repeats. You'll have a negative of the square root and all that stuff. But this is good enough. So I just wanted to preface that, and I want to show you what I mean by you treat it like x. So let's recall. I need to calibrate this thing. Oh, I got a red tie on my thing. That's why it's not working properly. I switched computers, and now I need to calibrate my tablet. Remember that for the first 2 weeks I kept saying I need to calibrate my tablet. All right, anyways, let's recall. If I take 3 plus 4x, right, and I add that to 2 minus x, we have this thing called like terms, right? So like terms, I got a number and I got a number. Those are like terms. And then anything with a variable, positive 4x and negative x, technically negative x is the same as -1x. Those are like terms. So I'm going to add the real numbers. Well, I got to back up. I'm going to add the constants 3 plus 2. And then I'm going to add plus 4x minus 1x. 3 plus 2 is 5. And if I have 4 x's in my hand and I take away 1, I'm left with 3 x's. So that is how I do that with those numbers. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay. So now I want to talk to you guys about mathematical operations of complex numbers. So if I say 3 plus 2, wait, I'll make it just like this other one. So if I say 3 plus, what was that, 4x? If I say 3 plus 4i plus 2 minus I. Mathematically, I'm going to do the same thing. But I want to talk to you guys about a couple of things. This is written in the form a plus bi. Actually, let me back up. A plus bi. So this is a complex number. The anything contained in the I is the imaginary part. Okay. Anything containing the I is the imaginary part. Anything not containing an I is what we consider to be a real number. So this whole thing combined, that whole thing is a real number. Or not real number, a complex number. This whole thing is what we call a complex number. It's complex because it has a real component and an imaginary component. Okay. But mathematically, we treat it just like we did this other example. This is the real, right? So this is real. There's no I. This is real. There's no I. Okay? This is imaginary. This is imaginary. How do I know it's imaginary? Yeah, because it has the I. And so those are the like terms in complex numbers. So I'm going to take 4i minus 1i, and then I'm going to add that to 3 plus 2, and I'm going to add them up. And so I get 5 plus 3i. And that is a complex number. Okay? Any questions on that? So let's do an example. This is technically example number 2, but I just want to keep going with it. So if I say -7 plus 2i plus 5 minus 11i, this is real, this is real, right? Those are the real numbers. And then this is imaginary, this is imaginary. So those are imaginary. Okay. So I'm going to say -7 plus 5, okay, plus 2i minus 11i. Combine like terms, these are the real numbers, so I get -2. And combine like terms there, and then I get negative, I could say plus -9 or just say minus 9i. And that's the final answer. Any questions on that?